You don't want to rock your new scarf around town with knitting needles attached to it? Me neither. Let's cast off. So you should have just completed the 20th row in this second tail end section, and it should have both started and ended with a knit 2. So knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2. Now I've just turned my work, and we'll begin casting off. To start this, you'll want to knit 2 stitches from your left hand to your right hand knitting needle. So let's go ahead and knit 2 stitches. There's one. There's our second. Now, what we're going to do is take our left hand knitting needle and place it on the front side of the right hand knitting needle in between those 2 stitches that we just knit. Now we're going to insert our left hand knitting needle through the furthermost right stitch, just like so. So it's on the front side of the right hand knitting needle. Now what we're going to do is bring this stitch over this second stitch and over the top of the right hand knitting needle. So brought it over that stitch and now over the top, and we can just drop it off. All right, so once we've completed that, you should now again just have 1 stitch on your right hand knitting needle. So to proceed, let's knit 1 stitch so that again we have 2 stitches on the right hand knitting needle. Once you have 2 stitches again on the right hand knitting needle, let's repeat the same process. So take the left hand knitting needle's tip and place it in between the 2 stitches on the right hand knitting needle. Then insert the left hand needle's tip through the furthermost right stitch. Now bring this stitch over the other stitch and over the tip of the right hand knitting needle. Just like so, and drop it off. All right, hot dog. Now we have 1 stitch again, so let's knit 1 more stitch so that we're back to 2 on the right hand knitting needle. Then, once again, take the left hand needle, insert it through the furthermost right stitch. Once inserted, bring this over the other stitch and over the right hand knitting needle's tip, and drop it off. Now, I want you to complete this same process of knitting 1 again, and then bringing the furthermost right stitch over the other stitch and over the top of the right hand knitting needle until you've completed this entire row and you have just 2 stitches remaining on the right hand knitting needle. We'll come back together once we've reached this point. Okay, I have just now knit a stitch over, so I now have 0 stitches remaining on my left hand knitting needle, and I have 2 stitches on the right hand knitting needle. Now, same as always, we will just take the furthermost right stitch and bring it over the other stitch and over the tip of the right hand knitting needle. Now we just have 1 stitch remaining. Since there's no other stitches that we can knit over again, here's what we will do. I want you to take your yarn and cut about, maybe let's say a 5 to 10 inch tail again. Once that's completed, you'll have just a little tail remaining. I want you to wrap this around the knitting needle, kind of as a makeshift stitch. Then you'll take your fingers, or you can use your knitting needle, it doesn't matter, but you'll bring the furthermost right stitch, which was the last stitch remaining, over that makeshift stitch and over the tip of the right hand knitting needle. Then you'll just pull that through, and voila, you have a little knot there, and you are officially off your knitting needles, and we have a beautiful scarf. You should be so proud of all of the work that you've done. But there is one final task remaining here, and it's to weave in these loose ends. So you should have a couple of loose ends from where you cast on and off, and then when you added in new balls of yarn. So let's weave these in. Please see the next corresponding video if you're unfamiliar with the process, and then we'll officially have a brand new scarf. All right, congratulations, we're so close.